Hi, I wanted to sit down and talk about office hours today. So I thought this would be appropriate because it is the end of the semester and I no longer have office hours and Dr. Reed no longer has office hours. So I thought that to reflect back on everything that was required of me this semester and concerns with office hours. So for the most part, I think that the students didn't utilize me as best they could. At the end of the semester, when they received their final paper assignment, I was required to hold office hours once a week for an hour and a half a day. Well, the time restriction was my idea because the students gave lists to me of when they would be able to show up for office hours, and it was kind of disappointing. I had one student who came all the time, and she was a repeat because she wanted to do really well on her paper. But other than that, I didn't have anybody come to my office hours. And I found it, semi-disrespectful that they waited until the last day. Like Monday, their paper was due, and they waited until Monday at 1 o'clock to ask me to come to office hours. And of course, being a student, I understand doing your paper last minute. So I obliged them, but it just seemed kind of backwards to me that they would wait until the very last minute when they know that I have things going on. So that was kind of a downside. And throughout the semester, I put to them that I would be available anytime to have any sort of office hours for them, and nobody contacted me the entire semester. So that was kind of disheartening, and I can't really figure out why, but I have a few hypotheses about why people didn't come to my office hours. So the first thing that I think is they didn't think I was competent enough. So most of the time students would say that when they did come and meet me and see me outside of class, they knew that I was totally different outside of class, way nicer, way more approachable, I guess, than I am inside of class. And I had a few students say, please don't judge my paper, please don't say anything mean about it. And I was like, the only thing I offer is constructive criticism. I'm not here to make fun of you or to make you feel dumb or put you down. And I think that might be the reason why nobody came throughout the semester, because one, they either thought I didn't know what I was doing, or two, they thought I was going to be extra mean to them. Another reason I think they maybe didn't come is it wasn't in their availability to come, which seems kind of like what their excuse would be, but maybe that's an honest truth. And I think for the future, a better idea in regards to office hours is to require them, at least each student, to meet with the TA at least once in the semester, any point in the semester. And normally there's more than one TA per class, and unfortunately this semester I was the only TA for 22 students. I got to know all of them fairly well. I mean, the interactions I had with them in class, but it would have been nice to see all of them outside of class, maybe in group sessions or something like that. I mean, it's a lot to ask of one TA to do, but in my situation, I would have been more than happy to meet with them on a group project or individual papers or anything like that, just so they could get the help they needed and so I could understand what their skill level was, so I could provide a better framework of what and how I needed to approach the students. And I also think another positive thing that can come out of this experience of nobody coming to my office hours is understanding that they would rather have somebody that is considered their peer review their paper first. So I think that's also a good idea, to have the other students in the class read their paper. So maybe every time now before they turn in a paper or an assignment, say at least one person has to sign off on it and say that that person reviewed their paper, and that might stand for an office hours event, to have somebody else review their paper, and maybe because they're worried about criticisms that maybe one of their peers review it first before they bring it to the teacher or a TA. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say.